Mr. Bove is Donald Trump's nominee to the federal appeals court, and he is anything but qualified. I know the past 6 months have somewhat conditioned us to almost expect the surreal, but even in a cabinet with the likes of Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Pete Hegseth, and the other clown car occupants, Bove actually could be the most dangerous. Now, while these folks and Justice Department cronies like Patel and Bongino certainly and have done damage, Trump basically acts unilaterally, and when his term ends, so do theirs. Bove, however, if confirmed, will have a lifetime appointment, and at the age of 44, would have decades to pervert justice. For most of us, we became familiar with him during the trials and tribulations of Trump, representing him as one of his lead defense attorneys in both federal and state cases. When Trump won this time around in the election, he dispensed with any of the adults who populated his first administration, and as a perfect example, appointed Bove as acting deputy attorney general. And he got right to work, seemingly believing that his job was still being Trump's personal attorney. To satisfy the president's revenge ambitions, he immediately had the FBI put together a list of agents who investigated the January 6th attacks on the Capitol, as well as unconscionably firing Justice Department prosecutors who worked on those cases. Bove also was the same guy who ordered prosecutors in the Southern District of New York to drop the case against Mayor Eric Adams despite overwhelming evidence of corruption and a blatant quid pro quo for the mayor's cooperation in immigration raids in the city. Resignations, they followed in huge numbers, were notably the acting U.S. Attorney in New York, who, by the way, had served as a clerk for ultra-conservative Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia. She saw no good faith basis for his position. Last week, a whistleblower complaint was filed by a Justice Department lawyer alleging that Bove said in a March meeting in the White House that the DOJ should say F you to the courts if they refuse to permit deportations without due process. He denies saying this. When Trump nominated him, he alluded to Bove being the guy who would let nothing stand in the way of carrying out the MAGA agenda. To say this does not sound like judicial independence would be a massive understatement. It wasn't long ago that the Senate would never seriously consider such a clearly compromised person for such a critical lifetime appointment. But as they say, that was then and this is now. I have seen no evidence of Republicans saying no to even the most egregious demands of the Donald. To anyone who believes in the separation of powers, co-equal branches of government, or just the basic idea of an independent judiciary that, actually believes in justice, you know this guy doesn't belong anywhere near a bench, let alone one, a single run behind the highest court in the land.